Hmm. Hi and welcome back to my channel. I am Caspian and I read books a lot. So let me just adjust this a little bit like that. Yeah, more comfortable. Okay, so this is the end of the year book tag, and I have been wanting to do this for like a month. So my answers are, yeah, you'll see, you'll see. So the end of the year book tag, I have seen some other YouTubers make this book tag, and it's mainly it's like about your TBR for the rest of the year or something like that. So there are 6 questions, and I have seen some people like having a blast up on the screen with the question and then getting into it. And then equal amounts of people not doing that, just saying the question. So I'm just gonna do that because I don't want to complicate anything for me, myself, or for you. So the first question is: are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? Well, I try not to put that kind of pressure on myself to finish books in a certain amount of time, but I have started braiding sweetgrass. I think I've talked about it before. I'm reading Braiding Sweetgrass, and I'm maybe 60% through. And the problem is I'm annotating it. So I'm out of tabs, and I really want to, because I'm really enjoying the process of annotating it and diving deep into it, and just it's like a love making with a book. Not quite that, but it's a love story, at least between me and the book. And I really enjoy just filling it with my own thoughts and underscoring and highlighting different. I don't highlight that much because the pages are thin, and even though I have the mild liner, zebra mild liner, I felt that it bled through a little bit because they're so thin. The papers, the pages. So I just use like colored pens to underscore words and meanings. And if there's like a paragraph, I circle all of it and make some doodles along the side. And I really would like to finish that by the end of the year, because I thought I was gonna, it was an October project. It was an October project. It was the very first book that I pulled from for my Spookopoly, for the Spookoplathon, and it was a TBR vet book, and I can't believe I haven't finished it. But the the answer to why is simple, because I'm out of tabs, and I need to get more tabs, and I know that I have to get quite a lot of tabs. I'm using a specific kind of tabs that are like very small, thin, and I want the same, and yeah. So that book is, I think that's the only one I really feel I need to finish by the end of the year, because I want to move on to other non-fiction books. So I do have some other books on my list here that I would maybe like to dive into and finish by the end of the year. Two of them are, well, all three of the books are books that I have paused. But and two of them are, one of them are books that I probably don't want to have to reread, and that's Dead Souls by Nikolai Gogol. And the thing is, I was so I was on the verge of bored when I read it. I have like this weird relationship with Russian authors, because a lot of the books by Russian authors, and especially this one, I was on the verge of bored, but I was also stressed because it was rather a thick book, and it's just it's a historical novel, you can say, and so it's Dead Souls by Nikolai Gogol, and um, I was stressed by the fact that I needed to return it to the library. So I'm actually thinking of maybe buying myself that one for Christmas or something, because I haven't stopped thinking about it. Can you believe it? I was stressed, on the verge of bored. I wanted a faster pace, but I think I wanted a faster pace because I was stressed about returning it to the library, and there was a queue on it, so I couldn't, loan it again, or because if there's no queue, you can usually borrow a book for up to 3 months, but I couldn't do that now, so I had to return it. So I stopped midway through the book. And that one I would like to continue and to finish before the end of the year, so I don't forget the first half. Because even though I can't stop thinking about it, and I really want to, keep reading it, because in some weird way I enjoyed it. I don't know if I'm some kind of reading masochist, but when I think back on it, I was enjoying it. But during the time, I thought I was bored out of my mind. But I can't stop thinking about it. So, Dead Souls by Nikolai Gogol. And then there are two books that I paused. One that I really, really loved. And I decided to return it to the library and then buy myself a copy. And that is Once Upon a Broken Heart. I don't have it here, so I don't remember the author. But Once Upon a Broken Heart, I think it was Stephanie Garber. I can't swear on that. So Once Upon a Broken Heart, I really enjoyed it, and I wanted my own copy. So I paused it, and I haven't read that far. So it won't be. I will reread it. So it's not imperative that I continue it before and finish it before the end of the year, but it would be nice to do it because there are two more books and I want to enjoy them all. So, and then the last one on my list is The Left Hand of Darkness. I think the English title is by Sylvain Novelle. Sylvain, so I don't know how to pronounce that name, but it's a sci-fi, and uh, I made the mistake of reading the like 28 or so first pages that the author, I don't know if it's called prologue. I read it in Swedish. I don't know if it's called prologue or if it's kind of forward, I think. Forward, I think. So I made the mistake of reading that, and I was so bored. And I was like, I don't like this. I don't want it. But then I gave it up because I didn't get that far before I had to return it to the library. I was just like struggling through the forward. And then someone asked me, why would you start with the forward? Are you insane? And I was like, don't everyone? And I have come to learn that people don't usually read that part unless they they are really interested in the book. So next time I'm just gonna jump into the book because I still want to read, because the storyline and everything about it intrigues me and I want to read it. So I'm just gonna let go of that part of my life, those pages, those hours, and I'm just gonna, because it didn't take me hours, but anyway. So braiding sweetgrass, I would definitely like to finish before the end of the year because I want to move on and I want to finish that love story. And Dead Souls by Nikolai Gogol, I would like to finish by the end of the year because I don't want to have to reread it. Once Upon a Broken Heart would be nice to read by the end of the year. The Left Hand of Darkness would also be nice. But it depends on my dad. Because Left Hand of Darkness, my dad has a copy. And I want to borrow it from him, so I can borrow it for as long as I want. And I don't have to return it to the library. But I don't feel like I want to own a copy. So he's gonna borrow. I'm gonna borrow it from him, but he's out of the country for a while. So I have to wait for him to get back. So the second question Do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? And I think when I first read this question, it was October, and it was in the middle of Spookopoly, or maybe it was actually the end of September when I first saw this tag. And no, it was middle of October or something like that. So and by that time I wrote down any mystery book. I have 5, I said, and then the Kiss Curse, because I have 5 that I have bought from the secondhand store, and then the Kiss Curse by Erin Sterling. Now I'm thinking that transition to the end of the year means for me getting cozy, Christmas cozy, because I'm really more into Christmas than Halloween. Even though I'm technically a witch, so I'm and I'm also reading the Kiss Curse right now, and it's not really helping me get into the mood of the end of the year. It's helping me. It's keeping me stuck in Halloween, and it's the 11th of November, so I want to transition into Christmas, and I do have a reread that I want to read as a transition into, because I am rereading my books by Jenny Colgan, and I have one Christmas book left that I want to reread and annotate. And I think that is a good book to transition me into the end of the year. But I'm also just 3 days away from my first Sunweight Candle book. And Sunweight, I have a whole video about what's with my Sunweight calendar, not candle, calendar. We light Sunweight candles, and I open a Sunweight calendar that is inspired by Blind Date with Books. So in August, I bought myself some Christmassy, wintry books. I wrapped them for myself, with nothing to hint which book is which book is which. So I have a stack of those, and I'm only 3 days away to opening those. So I think those will help me transition into the end of the year, because they are Christmassy or wintry in the theme or the season. So I think any of those, really, if I don't get to my reread. So the third question is there a new release you're still waiting for? And the answer is both yes and no, because I am waiting for one of them, in the sense that it's on its way home to me, and that is The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent, because I have ordered it. It has just come out, and I've ordered it, and it's on its way, and it's supposed to be at my house by Friday. It's Monday today. So when I wrote the answer to this question on my little pad, then it hadn't come out yet. But one that I'm still waiting for, I think it has come out. No, I don't know if it comes out in Sweden here yet. Because I am actually waiting for The Strawberry Patch Pancake House by Laurie Gilmore, and I'm not sure it will be released in Sweden until next year, so I'm still waiting for it. So I would say my answer to this question is The Songbird and the Heart of Stone, and it's on its way home to me right now. So the fourth question is, what are 3 books that you want to read before the end of the year? And it's kind of, almost like the first question that was, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? And this is, are there 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? But okay, so this question is more books that I haven't yet dived into or dipped my foot in the pool. So on this list, I had a hard time finding 3 books because, as I said, I try not to put that much pressure on myself. I could, of course, just take the books that I have on my TBR right now. And if I did that, that would be Starling House by Alex Harrow. It would be, I have an Agatha Christie book, and I have a House Moving Castle. So I could say those. But what I did was I wrote this down because I was waiting for it from the library at the time, and I really wanted to read it. So and I'm in the middle of it now. I have a third left, and then there's the Honey Witch. I bought it. It's in my cabinet, and I would really like to read it because I think it's a more of a autumnal book, isn't it? I'm not sure. Maybe I will save it. I'm gonna look into what season it is, if it is a season, and maybe I will save it. So I'm not sure. Because when I wrote this answer, I was like, yeah, I want to read it now. But I have kind of swayed away from it. And maybe I can just circle back to it next year. And then I know that there is a book that has come out probably now. I don't know the name of it, but it's Abby Jimenez book number 2 in the Your Part of Your World series. Because I read the first book a few months ago, and I would like to own a copy of that, and I would like also to read the next one. And I don't remember what the title of the next one is. So I just wrote Abby Jimenez ? So the fifth question is there a book that you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? And my answer to this when I wrote the questions down was any of the blind date books, obviously. And now I also think that there are 2 very great options on my current TBR, one that I haven't read yet. And the first one is House Moving Castle, that I haven't started yet, but I want to read it in November because I'm reading it for Caroline Marie Reads, and her she's got a book club on Fable, and I'm reading it for that. I haven't even I downloaded the app. I became a member. I became a member of the book club, and I haven't set my foot there yet because I haven't started the book yet. Because I had another book that I was buddy reading with a friend, Beautiful Creatures, and I wanted to finish that, and I wanted to finish Starling House before entering another type of fantasy world. So that could still shock me. And then Agatha Christie, I think, because it could go either way. Because me and my dad used to watch a lot of movie or TV adaptations of Poirot and yeah, a lot of that. Poirot, and then there's one more, right? There's another detective. So even though I've done that, I've watched like all of the Poirot TV adaptations and several others, like Pair of Hearts or whatever it's called. But I have never read a book by her. At least I haven't in like 20 years. So that could still go either way. It could be not worth my time because maybe I like the TV adaptations and not the books. Or it could be my new favorite thing. And it could end up me being an Agatha Christie collector. Time will tell. So I have one of her books on my TBR for November. I don't remember which one though. I just picked one that seemed interesting at the library. They had like 5. So I picked one because I wanted a mystery book. I felt like a mystery book after reading so many fantasy books that I'm almost full of them. Like in Sweden we say mätt, like full after a meal. Like, ugh. So the 6th and last question is, have you already started making reading plans for next year? And the answer is yes. And I have several TBR jars that I'm gonna draw from. I have 2 TBR jars that are different kind of non-fiction books. There are one with books I haven't read that I want to read from my own shelves, and then there are one jar with books that I have read, but they might be out of date, and that is that is books. Those are books. English, please. Those are books. Oh, mail. Anyway, those are books that I have read and I use for my work, but they might be out of date. So I don't want to have books on my shelves that I might lend to clients if they are out of date. So it's a jar of like titles of books that I need to go through and see, is it still up to date? Is the information, the scientific information, still valid or not? And the third TBR jar is one with just prompts that I've gathered in the last few months from booktubers, from Pinterest, from all over the place, that I just wrote down and put in a jar, mixed them all up. And then I was really inspired by Spookopoly. So I actually downloaded some pictures and information about the Bookopoly from Becca and the books, and I have started to like dabble and create my own Bookopoly from my own interests, and I want to try that at some point. Whatever, yeah. And I'm also thinking about maybe making some kind of own some other kind of TBR game that is more like catered to what I usually read and like. So I have a lot of fun things in store for 2025. I also plan on actually doing the library challenge that I set for myself that I haven't done at all yet. I was hindered by several things, and I haven't really gotten to that. I haven't made like one video about the libraries in Stockholm. It's in Swedish. I only do that. Challenge in Swedish. The plan is to visit all of the Stockholm libraries, and there are like 40 of them in 2 or 3 years. So like once a month or every couple of weeks, I visit a new one. But it was harder to get to them than I thought, because I don't have a car of my own, so I have to do the communal way, and it's not that easy accessible as I thought it would be. Not all of them are, so I have to rethink it a little bit. I thought it was going to be easy, but it's not easy to get to them from where I am, because I don't live in the center of Stockholm. I live a bit outside of it, so for a lot of them, I need to go into the city and then out again in another direction, and that just feels overbearing. But I want to get to that by next year. So apart from that, I have some series I want to reread, and yeah, I have some books in my shelves that I want to read. So yeah, no, I have some plans, but they are more like inspirational. like TBR jars and TBR games and the challenges and that sort of thing, but nothing is like carved in stone. So yeah, that's it from me for this challenge, and I look forward to watching your challenge, your what's it called again? End of the year book tags. It's not a challenge, it's a book tag. I look forward to seeing more of yours. I'm sure there are other tags as well, but I think this is the first one since I joined BookTube that I really wanted to share. So yeah, have a lovely day. I usually do feel like I wanna do a summarization, like sum up. So any books that that I have started, I want to finish by the end of the year. Main two are Breeding Sweetgrass and Dead Souls. And then do you have any books any autumnal books to transition into the end of the year? I feel like I want to have Christmassy books for that, and I have my calendar books for that, and also my reread by Jenny Colgan. And then, is there a new release you're still waiting for? For this year that I know of, it's the Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent that should be with me by this week, the end of this week. And the fourth question was, what are 3 books that you want to read before the end of the year? I would say today, I would probably say I want to finish Starling House, and then I want to read Howl's Moving Castle, and I want to read a Agatha Christie book. Because I'm already reading this, I don't know if I will get to Abby Jimenez book by this year, and I think I want to save Honey Witch. And then the fifth is there a book that you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? And any of the calendar books, Howl's Moving Castle or Agatha Christie. And the last one is, have you already started making reading plans for the next year? Yes, I have. So with that, walk in beauty. Have a lovely reading time until we meet again. Tjingeling!